Guys, 411 Deshaun here, and in this video I'm going to be doing a review on the Motorola G, also known as the Moto G from Boost Mobile. Now the first thing that I want to talk about is the actual price of the phone. Now usually I don't talk about the prices of the phone that much. I may mention them throughout the video, but I usually don't talk about them that much. But with this phone, I noticed that it's pretty crucial that I talk about the price of the phone. Now to start off, it's on sale from now until April 5th, 2014 for $99.99. Now without the sale, it's $129.99. And even without the sale, it's a good deal, and it's always going to be a good deal. It's a super good deal. So why is it that cheap? Well, for starters, let's go ahead and look at the packaging. Here's the box that it comes in. Nothing too fancy from Boost Mobile. And inside that box, you get a one-piece charger, some user manual, and the user guide, and then you also get the phone itself. This is it. These three things right here. You do not have headphones, you do not have a USB data cable, or you do not have an adapter. You just get these three things that are shown on the screen as of now. Now another reason on why it's so cheap, if we go ahead and remove this back cover, which you can do so by go ahead and sliding a fingernail underneath the charging port and then just taking it off like so. Go ahead and set that off to the side. You can see that it is an 8 GB variant, and this is the only gigabyte that Boost Mobile offers as of now. I don't know if they're going to offer the 16 GB, but they only offer the 8 GB version as of now. And you also have a non-removable 2070 milliamp hour battery, which I was easily able to get through 2 days of moderate use. That's Facebook, gaming, high-end graphic gaming, taking pictures, and recording videos. The powerhouse user, you could get probably about a day of use with this battery. Now, back to the reason on why it's so cheap. The reason that it's so cheap is because this battery is not removable. You get 8 GB of internal storage, which isn't even 8. After the RAM and the iOS and the apps that already come loaded on it, you're looking at about 5 GB of storage, and there's no place to put a micro SD card slot. So those cover up the main reasons on why this phone is so cheap. Now why it's so cheap, it's still a really good phone, and we'll get to that in a minute. Now let's go ahead and talk about the internals of the phone. Running near vanilla stock Android experience, you have Android 4.3, which can already be upgraded to KitKat, and I'll show you that later on in the video. I just didn't upgrade it to KitKat because this is what you're going to be getting when you get it out the box. But running a near vanilla stock Android experience, you have the launcher, and you have a couple of Motorola apps here and there, such as Assist and such as Dropbox or Drive, which is the Motorola version of Dropbox. Now, it also has a quad-core Snapdragon 400 processor with 1 GB of internal RAM. Now that's absolutely lower. Now that's obviously lower than the HTC One and the Nexus 5, but for the price point, and it has a quad-core chip, that's amazing to see in a phone like this. And it plays games very good. It plays games, intense games, really good. 8,081, that's scary to see in a phone like this for the price point. That is absolutely insane. And those numbers, they weren't just talking. I'm able to play very high tense graphic games with no lags, no hiccups, no nothing. Obviously not in 1080p, but in 720p. And even still, with 720p, everything looks crisp, vibrant, and it just looks amazing. It's stunning. A display on a low-end $100 phone like this. As you guys can see, look at how clear that text looks. It just looks absolutely amazing. And I'm doing horrible right now, but I'm just trying to play it on camera. And then if we go ahead and swipe up, as you guys can see, it can handle just about anything that you throw at it. Now getting back to that 720p display, when watching full HD 1080p YouTube videos on a 720p display, you really cannot notice the difference, not unless you have them side by side. As you guys can see, this video just looks absolutely superb. It has a lot of crisp, a lot of details, and it's just amazing on what this phone can do. Just let this go ahead and play out for a little bit longer here. Yeah, 720p, HD, amazing. One thing that I want to mention is it does have these touchscreen buttons at the bottom, which I actually do like. It makes it feel like it's a Nexus 4 or Nexus 5. And when you set the phone down and you have it locked, you can easily mistake this phone for a Nexus 5. I mean, easily. Until you actually pick it up and then you notice, oh, this is a Motorola G. It's the closest thing you're going to get to a Nexus 5. This is like a cheap brother of the Nexus 5. That's how I'm going to put it. Just going ahead and showing off a little bit more of the processing speed. This is pushing 36, 37 megabytes on the Wi-Fi. My Galaxy S3 doesn't even go that high. It stops at like 16. And then it's pushing a 20 to 25 megabytes of upload speed. This phone is just absolutely insane and it performs like a boss. Now let's go ahead and talk a little bit more about this display. It's a 4.5 inch 720p Corning Gorilla Glass 326 ppi, that's pixels per inch on the display. It has very good viewing angles and the brightness is really good. I have the brightness set at the lowest setting for the sake of this video, but just to show you guys how bright it is, I'm going to go ahead and turn it up here. So here it is at 25, here it is at 50. Here it is at 75, and here it is at 100. Absolutely insane. The camera can't even focus on it. Very bright, very vivid display. We just go ahead and get close in on here. And as you guys can see, everything just looks so crisp, so clear. The Amazon app, it just looks so crisp. The blues are right on. And then even if we go over here to the Fruit Ninja app, everything, it just looks crisp. The words are very crisp. Very good display, very good pixels per inch. Now getting back to the pixels per inch, when you're doing the pinch to zoom, everything it shows up nice, crisp, clear. I mean, it's just amazing. It's a 720p display. 1080 if you basically it's I'm lost for words. We could get so close and the text, it just looks so clear. It's amazing. Now there are three things that bother me the most about this phone. Number one is there's no 5 gigahertz Wi-Fi band, which can be annoying to some, but if you're picking up a $100 phone, there's really nothing that you can do about it. Number two, there's no NFC, and NFC chips are very, very, very inexpensive to put in phones nowadays. But that brings us back to the point on why it's so cheap. They have to cut corners somewhere. And the third thing that gets me the most is there's no LTE connectivity. But again, brings us back to the price. They have to cut corners somewhere. If you're picking up this phone, you're only going to have it for 3G. If that doesn't bother you, then there you go. Now the camera on this phone is a 5 megapixel camera on the back, and it's a 1.5 megapixel camera on the front. The camera on the back, 5 megapixel, autofocus, flash, all that other good stuff. You know, it's not as good resolution as the Galaxy S4 or the Nexus 5 or the HTC One. Now, obviously, for the price of the phone, you're going to get good quality, and it's going to get the job done for the most part, but it's not going to get the job done for what you may expect. But for a $100 to $130 phone, really nice camera. Here's some sample videos and some sample pictures on the phone. And I will have the heading below the picture so you guys know if it's like indoor, outdoor, and the videos, I say it in the video. So go ahead and enjoy that. The indoor test with natural lighting. It records in 720p, 30 frames per second. And the mic that I am using is the mic on the actual camera itself. So this was the indoor test, 720p. 30 frames per second, the back 5 megapixel camera. Okay, so now this is front camera video test, and it also records in 720p, 30 frames per second. I'm trying to get the general setup that I had for the back camera, but if that does not work, I do apologize because I am not looking at the actual camera. But this is the front indoor video test for the front-facing camera on the Moto G. The outdoor video test for the Moto G for Boost Mobile. Records at 720p, 30 frames per second. Again, this is the actual mic on the camera. This is the quality that you'll expect when recording videos outside in natural daylight. Back-facing camera, 5 megapixels. The front-facing camera, again, records at 720p, 30 frames per second. And this is the quality that you will expect with natural daylight. Thing that I did want to point out with the back of the phone, if it hits the light here, is that it's a really nice soft touch feel phone, and it can slip out the hands very easily. And it has this little lip right here, or this little dot right here, which it just feels so comfortable. I don't know why they put it there. When I'm using the phone, my finger is always right here on that. It's natural. And when I first started using it, I'm like, all right, where do I put my finger? And then I searched around for this. I'm like, okay, that it just feels so good. I don't know why it feels so good. The buttons are really nice, really responsive. They're kind of sharp, so I mean they are sharp. They're really sharp, and they give really nice feedback to them. And another quick fact that I want to put out there is that the battery is 2070, like I said earlier, and it takes from 0%. It takes 3 hours to completely charge. And another thing that I want to talk about is the 4.4 KitKat update. When you get the phone, it's going to ask you if you want to update it. I'll have this picture and the other picture that you guys already seen, but I just want to show it on camera. But when you guys get it, it's going to ask you if you want to update it. 4.4 KitKat, I didn't update it just for the sake of this review. I may update and play with it for a little bit before I end up returning it. But 4.4 KitKat, it's here. It's on the Google Motorola G. Latest version of Android, stock, near experience, vanilla Android, very low price, can't go wrong. So basically, at the end of the day, what I'm trying to say is that the Moto G is an incredible deal. For $100 to $130, you can't buy a better smartphone, period. And when you upgrade the phone to KitKat, it's going to be better than it already is, because KitKat requires a lower operating system requirements, and it runs better on lower end devices. And this is a prime example where you can take great advantage of that. But essentially, hands down, this is probably, most likely, no, not even probably, this is the best phone that I've reviewed on my channel yet. The specs are there, you have really good battery life, the price is decent, and I don't see where you could go wrong. So, if you haven't already, go ahead, leave a like on the video, and become one of the Android fanatics and subscribe today. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. This is 4-1 Deshaun. See you guys in the next one. Peace.